Hey everyone, are you ready to explore this brand new 2021 camper trailer? This is an awesome camper trailer. Off-grid, off-road, extreme temperatures. I'm not aware of a trailer in America at this point in time that is going to get you to some of the places that this trailer can get you. And what I mean is temperatures. Like, this trailer is incredible. It is an off-grid, off-road, extreme below 0 degree trailer. And we're up here in the mountains. I think the temperature is right around 20 degrees. And we've been staying in this for the last few days. We've seen 0 degree weather up here. Tonight we're supposed to hit -3, tomorrow -5. So we are really truly putting this thing to the test. So I hope you're excited. This is going to be a full in-depth tour. So if you're interested in this trailer, we're gonna go over the details, the features, the operations. We're gonna go over comparisons between industry standards and other trailers versus this trailer. We're gonna tell you a little bit about the story, the behind the scenes, why RVs of America, who we are, and why we started carrying this trailer. Because we are known for carrying some of the best trailers in America. And we don't bring on a trailer lightly. It's a very hard thing. We have to truly love it and believe in the product before we're willing to start carrying another line. And so we're typically carrying very nice trailers. I want to tell you a little bit about the manufacturer and a little bit of their history and story. So this is going to be very long, very in-depth. If you're interested in this brand, you're gonna love this video. If you're just browsing YouTube looking to be entertained, don't watch this video. We'll release a mini version tour of this where we'll go over briefly, hit some specs, but it's not gonna be as detailed as this video today. So I hope you enjoy it. We're gonna delve deep into this. So at RVs of America, our goal is to strive for extraordinary excellence, and it's to constantly be going after the best quality. And it's not just quality, it's also we want to deliver the best experience and the best service. And we also want to work with a manufacturer that aligns with us in that way. It's really frustrating and it's a struggle because we have manufacturers we've working with, that sometimes they fall short in some of those areas. What I'm so excited about this Xplore is I don't feel that way about this. So I told you, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the story. I've been now talking with Xplore for about a year. They've been telling us that they're revealing this awesome off-grid, off-road trailer. I've been talking back and forth with them. And at first when they approached us, in the last couple of years, we've been getting a lot of people approaching us because they want us to carry their product. They want us to test it out, use it, and sell it for them essentially. And like I said, I'm always a little hesitant, very slow to actually want to move that. Xplore, you know, when they first were reaching out to us, wanting us to maybe carry their product and sell it for them, they were telling, it's gonna be off-road. And I'm like, okay, sure. Well, tell me more about it. And he's like, oh, there's gonna be 33-inch tires, right? And I was like, okay. And, you know, like, I see a lot of trailers in the industry where they flip the axles and they put big giant tires on them. And I'm like, that's not an off-road trailer. That's just a trailer with big tires, right? And, oh, well, and he started explaining this and that and that. And over time, as we started, you know, getting more into depth in conversations, I got to say, I'm really impressed with this trailer. I'm really impressed with the manufacturer, phenomenal people, and this is a good quality trailer. I'm gonna give you more and more details as we go. So they came and showed us this trailer last summer. Around October, we got our very first trailer. We've been out to the manufacturer. We've visited their facility. The people, this is what I love. I was watching a video of a YouTuber and he talks about the industry, and it's something like 70% of salesmen, manufacturers, dealers don't even own a trailer, let alone use it. So they are trailer users. They own and use these trailers that they make, which completely is a different experience for you as the end user. When you're dealing with manufacturers that have never even camped in a trailer, they just simply don't always know what are the best things in them. So they are users. Users are always different. We're users too. So your experience is completely different with RVs of America and Xplore combined. So this trailer, one of the biggest features about this trailer is they are made in Wisconsin and they know cold weather, which means they are designed to go, what they claim is 40 degrees below zero. Now we've seen it below zero and it performed wonderfully. We're yet to get all the way to 40, but I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, I've been sleeping in this trailer and it goes below zero and is comfortable. As a matter of fact, the camera guy behind the lens, he didn't even sleep with blankets last night because he said it was too hot. I was a little lower, I like a little warmer, so I had the heat running and he was just like sweating and taking off his blanket. So it's totally capable of extreme cold weather. We've had water in the lines, nothing's frozen. Really awesome. Now, one of the things that I love about this manufacturer, hold on, I gotta just tell you a little bit more about them before I get into the details. We went out, visited, got a kind of a plant tour, actually got to go out and eat with the owner. Super cool, down to earth people, but he is highly innovative and he's constantly improving the product, improving what they're doing with the Xplore. The assembly system that they set up is not the same as like standard Indiana manufacturing. He uses some of the concepts that Bugatti high-end, you know, manufacturers use. And one of the things that I really notice about these guys is they're just forward thinking. You know, they're looking for ways to improve. They listen to the market. They listen to the dealers. Every time I talk with these guys, I'm just so blown away with how receptive they are to our ideas and our input. I've been really happy about it. Like I said, we've been now talking with them for almost a year. We've been out to their manufacturer plant last year in September. We got our trailer. This trailer is a brand new 2021 and we've got it about 3 months ago. We've been camping in it. We've been to Mexico, Baja for around 10 or 11 days. We've been up here in the frigid temperatures for the last few days. I've had it parked outside of my house for almost an entire month and I've been in it almost I wrapped my Christmas presents in there during December. That's where I hid all the presents, so my wife and daughter didn't know where they were at. So I've been playing with it, I've been testing it, and once again, like I said, super impressed. Now let's get into some details. This is a toy hauler version. Quite frankly, I'm not a huge fan of toy haulers, but if you are, this is kind of the ultimate toy hauler. Now this ramp door will open up and it's only gonna fit about a quad, a four-wheeler, or a snowmobile machine. So it's not way huge. The ramp door is rated for 1,000 pounds. In Mexico, when we were out there, we were parked at a beach and backed it up and had this thing ramp opened up and had the support under it, and it was like a deck opened out to the ocean, which was beautiful. It does have a screen that actually comes down. You have the dual spare tires, like I said, 33-inch tires. You have some area up here for some storage, jerry can holders. You know, we put extra water, extra fuel in these to carry as we were traveling through Baja. There's a lot of places where you can't get water and fuel for a while, but we did carry that stuff up here. Here you have the high lift jack extreme. So this is not the standard high lift jack. It has some different adaptations and it can lift up to 5,000 pounds. If you come look over here, these pins pop out and these things completely swing out. So we're gonna pop those out. This guy slides up and then these just come all the way around. Now this ramp door will open up. You also have some recovery D-rings right here. Now let's talk about some of the construction. Walls, roof, floor, how they're constructed. The walls are an R13 and the way they're constructed is very cool. Things that I've not seen in other manufacturers. Now it is all aluminum. So the walls are aluminum welded. The roof trusses are also an aluminum. It's an A-frame aluminum roof, so it is a little curved, so it has good runoff, which is really important. It's not a flat roof. The exterior is all fiberglass, but it's a Crane Noble fiberglass. It's hung fiberglass, so it's not a lamination per se, like you'll see in a lot of trailers. They use the same type of methods that you're gonna see in like $500,000 motor coaches. And there's nothing wrong with fiberglass. Fiberglass you see in very expensive yachts and boats and planes. $100 million yachts use fiberglass, as long as you're using a quality fiberglass. And this fiberglass is going to be easy to work with. If it gets scratched, you're going to be able to actually repair it a lot easier. It's also thicker and has a little bit of better R value. It's really important because the next, in this industry, next travel trailers sizes that is most common is about half that size. What I love about this trailer is that it's not all metal. And the fiberglass is important because in the world of temperature, when you're out and trying not to freeze, more than R value, it's things that are conductive to heat and cold. If something's highly conductive like steel, and that's what if you put your hand up in the middle of the winter on some steel, it's going to freeze, or in the summer it's going to burn, right? So metal is highly conductive. So I think that's really important to have the exterior fiberglass. Right inside of the fiberglass, they use aluminum studs. Like I said, it's all welded around and it's bolted to the frame with 3/8 inch lag bolts. So it's actually bolted on, and the roof is bolted to the walls. So we're not screwing it in, it's not nailed in, or, so it's very, very well constructed. All of the screws, all of the bolts are gonna be a stainless steel or grade E. So they're not putting cheap stuff into this trailer. Now, inside the walls, the aluminum studs. Most common that you're going to see in the industry is going to be a rectangular hollow stud. What you're going to normally see is you might see fiberglass or aluminum or lamination, and then you're going to have a rectangular hollow stud, and on the other side of the hollow stud is going to be paneling. That's it. But in between each stud, they'll put in a foam board. Some of the best trailers out there that claim the best R values are going to use an 1.5 inch foam board that is going to be a 2-pound density. So the high density, this actually has a 3-pound 1.5 inch foam board, super high density. And then this is what's really cool is instead of using a rectangular hollow stud, they actually use C or H channels. And what's important to understand about this is what they actually do is they slide in the foam board into this aluminum stud. And so now you've just eliminated a lot of potential airspace where the cold temperature can conduct right through the aluminum stud and into your paneling inside your trailer. We have a thermal camera, and last night we actually had another trailer parked right next to it, so they were both in the exact same place, exact same climate, almost 1 degree temperature, and we were doing a reading on the ceilings of this trailer versus the other trailer. But this trailer, you didn't even see the studs barely because they're not conducting. The other one, you could see the cold just conducting right through the studs, and it was like almost a 20-degree difference between the center part where all the foam board insulation is and the studs. They were 20-degree different in temperature, and this one, it was within where you could kind of make out a stud. It was like within a few degrees. So this is really, really neat how they've worked this. So the foam board inserts into the aluminum studs. The H channels are C channels. Same with the roof. All aluminum A-frame roof. It's curved, but now the roof is an R24. Unbelievable, right? And this roof is going to have a batten insulation. Then it's also going to have that same high density 3-pound foam board, which is going to be inserted into the aluminum studs also. And then below it, there is what they call a vapor barrier. And I've never heard of anybody doing this in the industry at all. And they do this in the walls and the roof. Now, let me explain this to you. You have your fiberglass. That's the exterior wall. And then right on the inside, you have, of course, your aluminum studs. They're all 16 inches on center. And then in between, inserted into the studs, in between the 16 inches on center, you have that high density foam board. And then instead of paneling being the very next thing, inside, they actually have, it's about 1 inch thick vapor barriers. Like I said, nobody in the industry is doing this. I've looked into other manufacturers, some of the ones that tout, the best. I couldn't find anything about them doing this. And, they're used still the rectangular hollow studs. So they've really done some unique things to this trailer that I've not heard or seen anywhere else in the industry. This entire vapor barrier, it goes the distance of the entire trailer without any brakes in it. Same with the roof, without any brakes in it. So opposed to the cold hitting this and going straight to the studs and seeping through your paneling inside, it comes through and it hits that barrier and it has a harder time coming inside. I kid you not, with that thermal camera, when we were testing it out, we were in the other trailer, and wherever the insulation was, you saw, 60 to 70 degrees, which is what the trailer temperature was inside. But when you would hit the studs, you would see sometimes 30, 40 degrees. It was crazy, the difference. In here, it was hard to even find where the studs actually were because the temperature was only within a couple degrees different from the outside. Now, if we came outside, we put the gun on the outside, and this outside was reading 0 degrees. It was freezing, but the inside was 70 degrees. That heat transference wasn't coming into the trailer. The ceiling, which you'll see inside, below that vapor barrier, they do a tongue and groove cedar ceiling. It's really pretty. It kind of feels like you're in a cabin up in the woods, but we'll get inside in a little bit. I want to talk about the windows. These are a dual pane polycarbonate acrylic blend. It's a Eurovision. It's a very, very popular window that they're using in Europe, Australia. It's dual pane, so it has gases in the middle, which makes it warmer. These windows, I've thrown baseballs at these windows. Can't remember, they're like the break resistance or whatever. It's more than 10 times, 20 times stronger than glass. I can't even remember off the top of my head. But yeah, so the windows are great, dual pane, good for the weather. You have an 18-foot awning. It's pretty much the length of the entire trailer almost. Under here you have the tires. These are not real bead locks, but they look cool. Now, I want to mention a little bit more about tires, especially if you're a first-time trailer owner. They're a great tire. They have the alloy rim, 15-inch with the 33-inch tire. It is a mud terrain tire, but the thing that I want to talk about for you new tire owners, when you're looking at trailers, especially off-road trailers, even off-road vehicles, tires are so important. This has a great tread pattern. It's going to be great for mud and whatever the trails are going to throw at you. But the main thing is the load ratings. These actually are rated at 2,600 pounds, the load range C. Now you have 4 tires on the ground. That means if you combine up all 4 tires, you have a 10,400 pound weight rating. That's at max PSI, of course, 50 PSI. Now the important thing is when you go off-roading, you want to let the pressure down, right? Because that's going to give you a more comfortable ride in the trailer. If your trailer, say hypothetically speaking, if your trailer weighed 10,000 pounds, and you had load range C tires that were rated for 2,600 pounds a piece, that means you could carry your trailer and 400 pounds of stuff in your trailer. That's it. You're done. 400 pounds, put some food in there and blankets and you're pretty much done. That's your maximum. Now, when you get to hit the off-roads and you want to air down, well, you can't, because you would be potentially putting yourself in a situation where you could have a blowout. One of the worst things ever, when you're towing a trailer down the road. And I see this everywhere. I see this on trailer manufacturers. All trailer manufacturers recommend you run always at the max PSI of the tires. And the reason why they recommend that is because they give you the cheapest tires possible that can barely carry the trailer only at max PSI. Here you go, Explore from the beginning, doing the right thing, putting the right weight ratings on this trailer. And what's really cool is I don't have a toy in it, so I'm weighing probably around 6,000 pounds, and these are rated for 10,000 pounds, which means I can lower the tire pressure. I can bring the PSI down quite a bit, which will make this trailer ride so much smoother on the trails. Lowering your tire pressure from max PSI to 50 or 60% is the difference between riding an old pickup truck and driving a Cadillac. It's plenty of tire for the weight of this trailer. It actually comes in at a dry weight of 5,200 pounds. You have a cargo capacity of 3,620 pounds. The total length on it is 23 foot 4 inches. The width of the body is 93 inches, and the ground to the top of the roof is 120 inches. Now let's talk about ground clearance. In drive mode, this actually goes up and down. It's on a hydraulic system. In the lifted off-road mode, you can get up to 20 inches of ground clearance. It's also nice is because depending on where you're parked, you can lift it higher or lower to make these stairs easy to enter. And now we are sitting at the maximum ground clearance of 20 inches. And now, look at that. Within just less than 30 seconds, you're down at the lowest setting. Those stairs actually adjust. They have adjustable settings. So if you want to be lower to the ground and not have to step as high down that first step, you can. It's the convenience. And this is where you're going to put it down really low, get your stuff in. Now let's bring it back up to our ground clearance that we want. The underneath, the way it's designed, there is nothing underneath this frame. Everything is built above the frame. So if you're out off-roading, you're not going to be knocking off your sewer lines. You're not going to be hitting water lines. You're not going to be hitting axles because the axles actually come up and go through the actual frame. So very unique design. This awning is electric, auto in and out. And if we come around here, you have an exterior outlet, but it doesn't unfortunately open right now because it's frozen. So it's pretty cold up here. You have a nice ladder that can access your roof. It's a very hard fiberglass honeycomb. It is walkable. You also have a air conditioning unit up there. The low profile Dometic 13,500 BTU. And then of course you have the Go Power Solar Flex 100 watt panels. There's 2 of them. So a total of 200 watts. They are walkable panels. You also have the max air vent fan. It's a 7500 series Smoke, which is the nicer max air vent fans that you can purchase. Has all the features you want. This particular model, we got a rooftop tent. It's a Free Spirit Recreation, or the FSR. It has a triple silver coating treatment to the outer tent. It offers better insulation, waterproofing. This is considered a winter camp rooftop tent. It's a semi-automatic rooftop tent, can be easily set up. The bed is super comfortable, 4.5 inches thick total depth. It actually has a 2 mattress setup. The top mattress is about 2.5 inches. It's a soft foam. And then there's a more firm foam, 2-inch foam underneath that one. The bed is 54 inches wide by about 6 foot 8 inches. So you could put a basketball player in here, 2 adults very comfortably. Now, if you look over here, got some nice little storage pockets, got a little spot to hang things up, got some glasses or whatever. Another thing to hang up over here. You do have an LED light in here, and you just plug it in and boom, got some nice lighting right there. As you saw in the video, it's very easy to set up. It easily pops up. It folds down in it's literally seconds. It has a patented gas strut assisted opening mechanism. So very easy to use, user friendly. The frame consists of an aluminum alloy, and then the joints are a very strong nylon. If you're needing extra sleeping area, this tent is very nice. It has windows that open up on all corners of the entire tent, and has a nice ventilation so you don't have condensation in here. Very, very good quality, high-end premium tent. You also have some nice pouches that are some waterproof, so you can put shoes in there at night so you don't get them inside the tent. It comes with a nice little toolkit with some extra parts and just various patches and other things that you can for repairs. You also have parameter lights all the way around. Down here, you have a battery box. There's 66 amp hours, so a total of 132 amps. The ROA Special Edition, if you buy it from RVs of America, this comes stock, by the way, at the same price whether you were to buy it from someone else or from us. So if you went to another dealer and bought this one stock, you would get 132 amp hours. If you buy the Special Edition from RVs of America, it comes with 400 amp hour batteries. So way bigger battery bank, essentially 3 times the amount of power. So if you're trying to go off grid, definitely it's gonna last a lot longer with our Special Edition. Over here, Let's look at this. This is a huge, huge frame. The actual chassis, the underneath of the trailer is steel. It's a powder coated steel. Everything you see on this trailer is powder coated very nicely to prevent the rusting. This hitch is pretty cool. It's a lock and roll. I want to call it a rock and roll. It goes in this direction on the truck itself over here. This goes side to side. So you have that all that articulation for off-roading, and it locks in really securely. Never have been worried about it at all. You have your manual crank, and that actually comes up and swivels out of the way, so you have more clearance while you're driving. Here you have your propane. This opens up, you can get into it right here, or you can take this thing off. It has a WinTech regulator in it, and it actually auto transfers from tank to tank, so you don't necessarily need to come out here and switch it if you don't want. Right here, you have this really nice heavy-duty rubber rock guard, so it's not gonna, the rock chips are not gonna come up and hit and damage your fiberglass as easily. Here you have a nice roto pack. You can put water, fuel there. You do have an outside shower that you can actually shut off during the cold weather camping. And over here you have a 30 amp plug. Now, if you look back at this wall, there's something unique about it. Very little holes. You have an exhaust right here for your water heater. I'll tell you more about that inside. You have an exhaust here for your furnace. Where's the fridge, you might be asking? Where's, normally water heaters are this giant gaping, door on most trailers, right? This is a teeny little exhaust. This is a little storage for a sewer hose you can throw in there. You might say, where's all your sewer things that should be dangling off the bottom and get crushed when you're driving? No, this is above the frame right here. You can see the steel frame right here. This is right here, and it's a gray. This does not have a black tank. It has a special toilet inside that I'll show you in a little bit, but it's actually on a gray tank only with fresh water. Now, like I said, very little spots for thermal conductivity. It's all about that temperature that's gonna come in through your walls and make your trailer really cold. This is truly designed for cold weather. This right here is your vent for your stove and oven cooktop inside. And it actually clips open and is used when you're out camping, and then it shuts up. This is really the only vent on the walls of these trailers. It's really incredible. The fridge too, when we get inside, I'm gonna tell you more about that. It's super cool. And as you can see, it's no vent because it's not a propane fridge. It doesn't have a flame. It doesn't have gases coming out. And that also creates incredible temperatures inside the trailer because you're not having all of the... I have been in trailers and motorhomes over the years, even expensive motorhomes, right? Where, that propane fridge that's sitting out there, if it's a windy day and it's cold, you can feel gusts of wind flying through all around that fridge and hitting the inside of your trailer. Very cold. So you don't have that. Over here, we have a city water fill. So if you do want to go to the campgrounds, you can, and you can be plugged in. And then you have your gravity fill tank. The water tank is 30 gallons, not the biggest water tank in the world. I had a motorhome for years that was 35 gallons and make it through a weekend. The nice thing is you do have jerry can holders. And here at RVs of America, something that's unique that sets us apart from pretty much anybody in the industry, we can upgrade anything. We can do anything. If you want us to add another water tank, if that's something you want, we can. Otherwise, you can carry water with you for extra water. Their gray tank is also 30 gallons to match the general water, and they are both heated. Two ways, actually. Stock, they're heated with ducting that drops down into it. So when you turn your furnace on to heat up your trailer, it's also blasting some heat down into the tanks so they don't freeze. But there's also tank heaters, so you can turn on that if you're going below 0 degrees. So we've been out here, like I said, almost to 1 degrees for the last couple nights, and we have not used the tank heaters. We actually just had the heat rolling all under there. That heat that's going down there has prevented the tanks from heating. Now, when you turn on the water, it was a little cold at first, especially the cold water, but when I turned on the tank heaters earlier just to see, and it did bring the temperature of the water up just a little bit. Here we are back in the back side of it, and it is pre-wired for a camera. All comes from the manufacturer. You have these nice LED lights for, nighttime if you're gonna be packing stuff up here. This license plate holder, I really like, you know, it's just little things, little details. I love how they put that up there, put it sideways. It's unique, right? Opposed to having it sticking down here or, you know, pack on the tire. I don't know. It's cool when the manufacturer does unique designs that nobody else does. I like that type of stuff. And this manufacturer does a lot of things like that. And we're gonna step inside, lots of cool features to go over, talk about what makes this Xplore so much more unique than any other trailer. At the end of the day, you pay for what you get. Let's go over to the door and get inside. It is freezing. My toes are starting to go numb. I should have wore boots today. Over here, coming into the door, I love the little details of the mountains here. Are you ready to step inside and explore this trailer? Welcome inside as we explore the features of this trailer. The first ones that come to mind are storage. Lots and lots of storage. The fridge is the biggest fridge I've ever seen. You're not gonna have a lack of storage. It feels very roomy in here. Compared to the other off-road trailers that we sell, this one definitely feels like it has the most space. I'm like talking with my wife, man, it was so nice. It's me and my camera guy, we've been out in this trailer now for 5 days camping in this trailer. And I don't feel like we're walking on each other. There's just lots of space. It feels very comfortable. We had dinner here last night. We had some egg stew and it was just super cozy. It's just a very nice trailer. And we went on some trails yesterday that were crazy, and every time I was going, I didn't know what to expect, honestly. I was thinking cabinet doors are gonna fly open, there's stuff gonna be on the ground, and nothing was. The fridge stayed shut, everything stayed in place. Very impressed. I was like, something's going to break, like it has to break. And on this 5-day little adventure that we've been on, nothing has broken. And we've covered at least a few hundred miles. We've been to 0 degrees. We've been to these little mountains and just been on some washboard roads, and nothing at this point has broken. And that's pretty impressive for a trailer and the RV industry. Here we are inside. Like I said, lots of space. Floor to ceiling is 6 foot 4 inches. And I feel like I have plenty of headroom. But let me tell you, do you know what causes things to break very easily? Slamming things breaks things. What's really nice about all the cabinetry in here is the gas assisted struts and the soft close. Look, no slamming. Now, if you try to slam it, it doesn't slam. And then it actually locks. If you watched any of our videos in the past, you'll know that I don't really have a fetish for latches and hinges, but I do talk about them a lot. And the reason why is because if you've owned a trailer, if you've experienced RV ownership or trailering or towing, cheap hinges and latches where cabinets can open up and things can fall out can ruin a trip. I mean, I've been out on trips where the door opens, the jar of pickle juice flies out, lands on the floor, and shatters. I've had honey come out of cabinets and break and spill all over the place. It's not like the most enjoyable experience when you get to your campsite or you're out on a race with friends and pickle juice is all over the place and you're trying to clean it up for an hour. It's just not fun. So locking, when the doors lock and they can't come out, that is really good. Quality buses do this. And when I say quality buses, I don't mean like $250,000 quality buses or $500,000. I'm talking about $1 million plus yachts and coaches like Provost, Featherlight, these really high-end $1 million, $2 million coaches. They actually use these exact same latches. So there you go. You know they're quality. $1 million, $2 million coaches are using them. Just like I mentioned, tons and tons of storage. And once again, soft close. And it's slam resistant. And then you just lock it. You got some nice little cubbies that you can throw, hats and gloves. You also have a little place where you can put cell phones or whatever, miscellaneous items. These are USB. You have 2 in there, and then you have plugs. So there's a total of 9 USB ports and 6 outlets. So 6 outlets with 2 prongs. So a total of 12 things you can plug in and 9 USB ports. You can see over here, you got some USB ports hidden back there. This actually comes off so you can go set it outside. This is your main speaker. It charges itself on this port. It's Bluetooth. The speaker's pretty nice. It's also a flashlight. So, you know, if you need a quick flashlight without having to get in your drawers, you can just pull that off the wall. You can leave it here and it stays charging. And like I said, we've hit some pretty bumpy roads and this has not come off. I am so shocked. Like, I thought something was gonna, like, a door was gonna break or something was gonna fall, and it was good. Everything's been good. We've had it over 3 months now. We've taken it to Mexico. These last 5 days have probably been the most we've put it through with like off-road and torture tests, and it's been handling really well. So come over here and take a look at these switches. The nice thing is you can see how they illuminate, so you can kind of see what it is at night when it's dark. But here across there, you got your ceiling lights, your parameter lights, your cargo lights, your rock lights that you probably saw outside. This is your control for your awning right there. So it's all electric and an awning light. Something that we haven't showed you yet is a compressor. It has an onboard compressor. So this is the Viair, and it's a really good brand. I mean, if you look online and do research, ARB and Viair seems to be the ones that most people rave about. And it comes with some extra little hookups, hoses, gauges, so you can pressure up your tires. Because this is an off-road trailer, you want to let your tire pressure out when you're going off-road, and you want to pump it back up when you get to the highway so you can travel more safely. Let's move on over here. I want to show you the coat closet here with hangers. Nice little space up here. Just tons and tons of storage space. And it all locks, which is great. Fridge. Love this fridge. It's a Furrion coming in at 11 cubic feet. Huge. Most RVs are 7, 8 or smaller. You know, that's usually a big one. Comes with a 2-year warranty, and it is giant. This is at the end of our trip. As you can see, we have no more food. We're going to starve to death. Look down at the bottom row. That's Kirkland cheese. That's Costco cheese. Look how big. That's the giant bag, and it fits perfectly. And look at this, a soda, a 12-pack of soda in long ways, and it fits just fine. This fridge is huge. I love how they lock in. See these things right here? These clip in. So these shelves cannot actually slide in and out. They're very, very sturdy and tight into there. The freezer is also huge. When we went down to Baja, Mexico, we had Thanksgiving. We went down there for 10 or 11 days during Thanksgiving, and we actually got giant Costco pies in here, pumpkin and pecan pie. So this thing is really big. If you come look in here, it gives you these nice little features where you can set it to off-grid mode or full power mode. One of the things that's really important, and the reason why this fridge is so big and so deep, like no other fridge in the market that you see besides these types of fridges, is because it's a 12-volt only fridge. So it doesn't run off of gas. And there's horror stories about gas, like they blow up, they catch fire. That's only if you're not maintaining them properly. That's user negligence or user error. They don't really have that many problems. They are very efficient. I love the propane ones, but the propane ones, there's so much componentry on the back of the fridge that's like this thick. And that's the reason why you lose so much fridge capacity. With this, you don't have all of that. It's all 12 volt. It also cools extremely fast. The propane fridges, I typically turn my fridge on 24 hours before going on a trip. So the day before, I'm cranking it on before I put any food in it. This guy I turned on, and within about 30 minutes to an hour, it was icing. The freezer was actually icing already, which I was like, whoa, this thing cools down really, really fast. Since it's completely 12 volt, you never have to have propane, right? It's gonna run off of your solar and your battery, which is really cool. Now, the stock battery system does not run this too long. It is a little bit of an energy hog, but luckily, if you buy an Explore from RVs of America, you'll only get the ROA edition, which will give you a 400 amp hour battery bank. Another thing that you get with the ROA version or edition is an inverter. So this unit currently does not have an inverter. So these outlets down here that I pointed out earlier, there's also some over here. You got one here, one up above the TV, one over here, one in the bathroom, and you have one outside. So like I said, a total of 6 outlets. Now these outlets cannot be used unless you're plugged in at a campground or if you have a generator. The ROA edition, of course, we say this is an off-grid, off-road trailer, and that's what we use these trailers for, is off-road, off-grid. And it's silly to have outlets that don't work except for being plugged in at a campground. The ROA edition comes with a 2,000 watt pure sine inverter system. And what that is that's going to be connected into your battery system so that it will power up all of these outlets anywhere off grid. On this trip, we're doing videos, right? Our camera guy, we want to plug in our cameras. We want to plug in our drones. We can't because these power plugs don't work. We have to go and plug them inside our truck because our trucks have little inverters, right? Or we have to fire up a generator to charge things. It does have 9 USB ports, which is great, but those are really good for like little things, cell phones. It's not good for like drones or a laptop or a blender or a blow dryer or a coffee pot, whatever it is. So in the ROA edition, you're going to have that upgrade, and that upgrade normally would cost thousands of dollars if you were to try to do that by yourself. And we're doing it for the exact same price that you can buy this anywhere else in the market. So back over here, love the fridge. And since this is a 12-volt fridge and it doesn't have a flame and propane and gas on the rear end, it's completely closed. There's really no vents on that side. The only vent is for this guy right here, which is a Greystone vent and light for your stove and oven range. Now this stove and oven range is very beautiful. We used this last night. We were cooking on it. It has some nice little details, got your light. If you come down into here, you have an oven, and your oven has a nice light too. And you can adjust these at different heights, so you can put something bigger in there. And this little stove oven, Furrion, comes with a 2-year warranty. Mentioning warranties, the trailer manufacturer itself is a 1-year warranty. So the house, the construction, the quality, the components, all of this stuff is going to come with a 1-year warranty from the Xplore Imperial RV Outdoors. The Furrion and the appliances are different in that they come with their own warranty directly from the manufacturer. So Furrion, fridge and stove are going to come with a 2-year warranty. Dometic, which is our air conditioning unit, which is a 13,500 BTU AC unit, is going to come with a 1-year warranty. Any Dometic stuff is going to be 1 year. These are really nice. These have some extra little vents you can adjust here. It also has easy clean filters. These just slide right out. You're supposed to clean these like once a week or once a month, just depending on how often you're using it. If you're in it full time, I would just pull them out once a week and look at them. They're super easy. You just wash them off. This is thermostat controlled. Now you might be like, well, aren't all AC units digital thermostat controlled? Yes and no. Some of the AC units in some trailers will have this like knob that turns on and off, and they don't work very well. They always run. They seem to always run. You can't really adjust the temperature very well. So when I talk about the thermostat controlled, it is right here. This is Dometic. And this thermostat is really nice and really easy to use. This controls your AC unit and your furnace and your fan. So you just click mode. It says off right there. You turn that on, and there's the auto, there's the fan, there's AC, and there's your furnace. And then you can adjust your temperature. And then of course the AC and the fan. While we're right here, I'm gonna talk about the furnace. It's a 13,680 BTU furnace. It runs at 34 watts per hour continuously, or 4.5 amps, depending on how you like to convert. It's pretty efficient, right? It will last, I mean, with the ROA edition, you have 400 amp hour battery bank. You can use half, so you have a lot of time to be able to run that furnace. It has 5 ducts that I wanna point out and show you. Down over here, you have one. Then you have the main one right here, and behind this one is the actual furnace unit. And then you have one in the bathroom. So if you're sitting down doing your duty, you can keep that toilet nice and warm and keep your feet. So come down here and let me show you. We've taken off this access panel, ignore that. It's back in there, so you can't really see it. I've actually taken it apart. While we've been here for the last 5 days, I've removed panels and removed the units out to check them out, look at them, see how they were ducted. I took this off, I took the furnace out. I was just looking behind the stuff, and I'm really impressed with this manufacturer. They've done a really good job with just the details. Usually when you take things apart, you start finding out where they get sloppy. And I haven't really found that. Coming over here, I wanna show you this duct. You have this duct that goes up and over and it goes down. And that goes down into the gray tank to keep that heated. This duct is going this way, and you can't actually see it because they've put some paneling right here to cover it, and there's a cover for the thing. This right here, it goes down and drops into the water tank. And then that other duct right there is that one that you saw at the foot of the bed. So it is ducted throughout the entire trailer down into the underbelly where the tanks are to prevent them from freezing. It is a Dometic, and that also has a 1-year warranty. Since we're right here, this is the Nautilus. It's on-demand hot water. This is normally covered. Opposed to filling up a giant tank and heating that water, this has a super efficient high heat flame that just kicks on. So once you turn the sink on, the hot water, it will kick on instantly, and then it's on demand. It will start giving you hot water right away. So you don't have to wait for it to heat up. And then this has also some, when it gets into cold temperatures, it has some preservation modes where it actually will heat up and spit the water out to keep it winterized or from freezing. And also this requires just a teeny little exhaust on the exterior. Most of those big water tanks, they're completely exposed, and it just creates a big hole for air to seep through. And that's the reason why Xplore talks about how you can go to 40 degrees below zero, because of the design of how they make this trailer. Now, I also want to show you underneath the sink here, we have a Sureflow water pump, and right here, this is an easy winterization valve. You just turn that valve, you can put the non-toxic antifreeze through here and winterize your trailer in literally minutes, right? You stick that in and it runs right through. Some trailers don't really have these easy access. You got to either unscrew the pump and screw in your own little pigtail on, or you have to disconnect some lines. The access of this is really nice and simple. This is a P-trap, just so you know. It's not like what you see in your house. It's a different type of P-trap. And once again, everything is soft close, slam resistant. Now these countertops, they have a nice look to them. It looks like a stone, and this has this undermounted looking type of sink that's actually built into this cabinet. But the sink it's very large. It's got some good depth to it, and then you have this nice metal fixture too that comes up here. And I like it when they're up high, because then you can put big pots under there and fill them up, because when you're out camping, you're cooking, right? And you want to be able to have that nice access. And it's nice. It works very good. If you come over here, you have another little USB, another plug, which will work with the ROA edition off-grid. And then up here, you have your gauges, you have your water heater, your water pump, and then this also has tank heaters, which is really cool. So like I showed you just a second ago, the ducting that goes down into the basement, that's actually your furnace, forced air into there to keep those tanks warm, which we were in about 1 degree temperature and we had no problem with our water freezing. So this is different than that ducted air. These are actual electric, they're 12-volt electric pads that are actually on your tank. They have a thermostat, so if you turn the switch on, if it gets below freezing, they'll automatically kick on and they'll heat the tank up until about 67 degrees, and then they'll automatically shut off. So then as they start getting cold again, it will automatically turn on as long as the switch is on. So it's a little bit different. They use about 5 amps per hour. So if you're trying to conserve on energy, you might want to use your furnace. And like I said, we got down to 0 degrees with just the furnace, not using these. So this would probably be something for in the single digits and below, where you would actually want to kick that on. Over here, the TV, I want to show this. It's a Jensen TV. It does work off a 12 volt. So it actually just goes into this little cigarette lighter. We'll work off the batteries. It also has a mount that comes out. These are good for RVs. They're vibration tested. It comes all the way back and kind of swivels around, gives you lots of movement. And then this right here, this big bolt right here, that locks that in. So when you're driving down the road, it sits nice and firm against the wall and is not going to be, and it locks in right nicely. I've seen those, and those mounts almost never line up on trailers. My last motorhome, it almost never would line up. It was super hard to get in. So that night goes in nice and smooth. I think I've kind of mentioned back and forth, but I just want to talk about the walls again. If you recall, I was telling you about how we did some thermal on the ceiling, the walls, and you really don't see the joists because of the way it's designed with that vapor barrier. It's about a 3-inch wall, super thick. The floors, they're only 1.5 inches thick, which is pretty amazing. I mean, when you consider a lot of trailers use plywood, that's only 1/2 inch plywood, or 1 inch, depending on what they use. The special floor, it's that poly woven front and back high density foam board. It's super, super strong, but it actually has an R value of 11, which is really amazing. So the floor has an R value of 11. The walls have an R13. The roof is 6.5 inches thick and has an R value of R24. And I know this is legit because we've been in 0-degree weather, and we had another trailer parked outside, not an Xplore, another brand parked outside. Our values aren't half as good. And we were doing the thermal tests on both of them. And one of them, you could see the joists all through the studs, through the walls. This one you didn't. The other one, the actual warmest parts of the trailer were the dual pane windows. That's actually where you were losing the least amount of heat. The heat was going through the studs on the other trailer. This one, the windows were actually where you were losing heat, and that's what you would expect. Back over to the table area. I want to sit down here in these extremely comfortable seats. This chair right here is unbelievably comfortable. They must use some sort of memory foam in these cushions because sitting on it, you just kind of sink in. I didn't mention this is a screen. So this actually comes all the way down and goes and retracts all the way up. Behind here is the door. See, down in Baja, we have some nice shots of this door open with the screen down overlooking the ocean, which was incredible. But when you buy your Xplore, it comes with some Christmas presents, some little goodies. Besides the entire trailer is a present. This was the air thing that I was talking about a little bit, the compressor. Comes with your hose, comes with your little tire gauge thing. I actually used it for an air mattress the other night, which was nice to have. So if you recall on the rooftop tent, you had a little LED light. Imperial Outdoors Xplore actually gives you one. It comes with the trailer. You can throw this up in your tent. It's funny is because that tent is like a premium tent and it has the light, but there's no way to turn it on. So the manufacturer of the tent doesn't even give you this. But it's the details. Dealing with a manufacturer and companies, it's all about the details. What does that company give you? You know, what do they do? They're very thoughtful. Another thing that I want to point out is here is your booklet, and you have manuals, tons and tons of manuals, stacks of manuals. This owner's manual is phenomenal. I've read through the entire thing. It tells you how to store your unit. It tells you how to service and maintain your unit. It has pre-checklist items before you go out on a trip, what to watch for, what to check for. It talks about your wheel bearings, your tire pressures. And it's amazing because sorry, not to go on a rant here, but I'm going to go on a rant. The RV industry has such a bad reputation for not taking care of people. A lot of them, first off, they build junk. And then once the junk goes out into the marketplace, they don't give you good service. Like the warranty, the service, the follow-up after the sale is just not there. The user instructions, you know, a lot of people think, oh, the reputation is bad because of the product being cheap. I think half of that is true. It is the product is cheap, but really, like, I grew up in trailers my whole life. My parents, we've always had campers. I wasn't like mad that they were cheap. And my parents were like, you know, yeah, it rattles apart, but guess what? The memories we create, the lasting, you know, the experiences that we have, they're phenomenal and they're great. Even though that they're cheap, you know, you still have these incredible memories. But when you go out and you're on a camping trip and things break, and if you're not super handy, my dad is a home builder, he's a handyman, so he can fix things on the fly. People that can't, owning a trailer can become very frustrating if they don't know how to use things or how to operate things. And I always say the biggest headaches in RV ownership is going to be user error or user negligence. And user negligence comes from a lack of knowledge of how to maintain your RV, what to do. And this talks about the sills, how to sill your, they're going through and it has pages. So it talks about, I don't want to go through everything on this, but it's really nice. It talks about all your maintenance, your running gears, and it talks about the hydraulic fluids and your torques, your tire pressures. It talks about safety and tire and frame inspection, just loads, how to load the trailer and the safety chains and leveling, and it just goes through all your electrical systems. It goes through the types of sealant and all of your power stuff. And the biggest frustrations that I see with RV ownership is just people not knowing how to do things. Now, RVs of America, that's something we pride ourselves in. When you buy a trailer from RVs of America or ROA, you become a roamer, and we have a lifetime technical support team where you have text messaging, you can call us, and our text, we have a video library. And this is with anybody that buys a trailer from RVs of America. Once you buy one from us, you become a roamer. And whether it's an Explorer, a Tax, or a Black Series. What's so nice that I'm seeing with Imperial, this Explorer, is they are on the same page with us. They believe that the most important thing is the end user, which is you, the people that buy the trailer. Because if you don't have a good experience, then you're not going to say anything good about them or us or anybody. So it's so neat that they're doing these things. And you think, well, all car manufacturers do that, but RV manufacturers do not. All of them do not do that. A lot of them don't have any type of manual whatsoever. Thank you, Xplore. We really appreciate it. Now, I'm gonna show you this bunk bed. You actually have a key, so you can lock it and nobody can run it if you don't want it to. And then if you step back, you can see it comes down. This is the bed. It's about 4 feet wide, over 6 feet long, just over 6 feet long. The camera guy, Jordan, has been sleeping on it and he's 6'2". Michael has slept on it and he's 6'1". Our camera guy says it's extremely comfortable. Michael put a foam topper on top of it because he said it was okay comfortable. I always think it's funny when people ask me, is the mattress comfortable? And I'm like, that's kind of like asking me, I don't know, if the color is good. It's because it's like, oh, I don't know. What's your favorite color? If your favorite color is pink or blue or red, it might not be good, or, depending on what it is. Mattresses are a little bit of opinion, what you think is comfortable versus another person. I like very soft mattresses. This mattress is a little firm for me, so I would put a topper on it, but our camera guy likes more firm mattresses, but it's nice, it's comfortable. And like I said, we've had 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2" people sleeping on this bed. Okay, now, once again, this is a toy hauler, so it just so you know, down here, it does have hooks that you can tie down and strap four-wheelers, snowmobiles. The nice thing is you could even do bicycles, right? Bicycles, dirt bikes, whatever you can come up with. This, you have a good amount of space in here to put probably, you could for sure get 2 dirt bikes, maybe 3 or 4, depending on how you squish them in and tie them down. Now I want to come back over into this area and show you the solar system. Now over here you have the, this is a PWM solar charge controller. Now, as far as a solar charge controller goes, this is the most expensive of the Go Power PWMs. It's not an MPPT. I have done a bunch of research on this. I think it's like $200 to $300. It does have some nice features on it, and it actually will work with lithium batteries. Right now, the stock batteries are the AGMs from Xplore. That upgraded package, the ROA edition, will have AGMs because they're outside and they need to be in cold weather capable. But if you wanted to do lithium down the road, you could with this system. You also have some nice little features. You can go through here. You can see your battery percentage. We're at 81%. You can see the current voltage of the batteries, and you see AGM is set up. It's 12.6 volts. That's what we're currently pulling in from the sun right now, 0.8 of an amp. It also has this nice little fancy phone app. So it is Bluetooth capable, and you can click on that. This is the ROA Explorer, and you go down through here and similar. Look, it says it's 0.8 amps and your battery type and stuff. This actually has a capability to get up to 30 amps of solar. And right now it's about 200 watts, roughly 10 or so amps per hour. So you could add an additional, a few extra panels to get you up to 30 potential 30 amps, or you could say whatever, 500 watts or so. Now here you have also this max boost. If you press and hold this for a few seconds, it will engage. And there it is, the boost just turned on. And what this is going to do is for about 30 minutes, it's going to boost the solar to get to up into 14 volts. So we'll try to pull more sun. You also have a little USB port. Like I told you, there's 9 of these little guys that you can plug things into. Now, the moment you all have been waiting for. I know this is the most exciting part of the tour, the grand finale, the bathroom. If you recall, I'm 6 feet. You do step up a little bit, and there's some good space in here, you know? We're about 6'3". There's some good space in here. There is room in here to move around. Got your little soap things right here. And look, if I'm showering right here, it's right under my head, 6 feet. If I say this is a bar of soap, I drop my bar of soap down in the corner. I can bend down. There's a little thing you can put your foot here and shave your legs, which is nice. So there's, you know, you can put your legs up here and shave. You ladies, I don't shave my legs, but remember, this is a trailer, right? It's not the Taj Mahal. And the bathroom, if I did have a complaint, I would say the bathroom is a little bit smaller than I'd like. But the way it's designed, it's functional. It works fine. The outside area, the kitchen, the main area, it has a lot of space. It feels very comfortable. And so you don't live in the bathroom. Some of you might, but I don't. Come check out this remote. This is awesome. This is a max air vent. And up here, you can see, you do have some controls that you can actually run it there. But check this out. You have this little guy right here. It's a nice digital remote. Turn it on. It's already blowing really fast. I'm going to slow it down because it's really loud. I'm putting it down to 20%. So that fan will go really slow. Now 30%. This has a cover over. It's kind of like, the way I explain it is a shark fin, right? So it has the shark fin, and on the back side of the fin is where the vent is. So you can actually turn this on and run it while you're driving down the road. Or if it's raining, right? So there are some vent fans, when they open up, if it starts raining, you forget to close the vent. It's just gonna rain right inside the trailer. But honestly, I like this because the sensor ones, they open up, and if it starts raining, they shut. But it's like, well, maybe I want it open, right? So you can open it. So this actually gives you the capability to open it anytime. It's the 7500 Smoke series. That's the high end. We install these, upgrade these all the time, and this is the one we use because we really like it. It's reverse, so it's air out, or you can go air in. You know, say you're down in the valley where we live, it's, you know, we're 4,000 feet. In the summer, it's 90 degrees. You go up into the mountains, it's 70 degrees, 60 degrees. But the box is still a little warm because this has really good R value. It's gonna hold the heat in. So when you go up in the mountains, you can pull the air in. You can open or crack these windows, and that creates a really nice draft. And it's customizable all the way from 10% all the way up to 100%. And it's also thermostat controlled. So you can actually adjust the thermostat. So you say if you're out and about, you're hiking, and it's 70 degrees outside, you wanna make the trailer stay cooler, you can set the temperature, the inside temperature, and it will automatically open and start trying to bring in air to cool off the trailer, and then it will close once it gets to temperature. So there you go. Fantastic vent fan. In the bathroom area, you can see there's a plug, so you can get your blow dryer or whatever you need. Open this up. You got a good amount of storage here for your toiletries. You have a lot more storage down here for miscellaneous items, towels, I suppose, or toilet paper. You can also grab your toilet paper and put it over here. You got some extra storage right there. And the heat duct is underneath the bathroom right there. Welcome to the toilet. This is literally the grand finale. We're at the end. Nice little porcelain lid here. This is not a regular toilet. This is what they call a dry flush toilet. But it doesn't smell bad. It doesn't smell at all. I don't smell anything, actually. And I have a really good sniffer, and I don't smell anything. It is completely sealed up. You know, RVs, you have to have special RV toilet paper, right? You got to go down and get the special stuff that's twice as expensive. Nope, not with this toilet. You can use your Charmin quadruple padded, whatever the heck you use, and this thing will suck it up and take it in, and it sucks into a bag down in there, and you can't smell it, can't see it. It's gone. Now, you do have to replace these bags every so often. It actually does about 15 to 17 flushes per bag. So you have to bring on a few extra bags. But we went, like I said, we down in Baja, Mexico, we were down there for 10 days. I think they used 2 bags total. And they had a little boy that came and pressed the button a few times, which you don't want to do. But essentially, it just grabs whatever's in there and just sucks it up and puts it down into this underneath bag. And then when you're done, when you're full and you can't flush anymore, you just pull this off, you literally lift this out, and then there's a black bag under there that actually wraps up around this. So this plastic thing goes into that bag, and then you tie that bag, go throw it in the trash. That's it. The poopiest thing about trailer ownership is actually having to drain your black tank, your poop tank. Pardon my French. Hope that doesn't offend anybody. But after you're done camping, that long weekend, you go and sit in line to go to a dump station. And usually the dump stations charge $5 to $10 every single time you go. So every weekend you go, unless you're lucky enough to live by a place that has a free one, which all the ones by my place are not free. So I have to go and pay to dump my sewer every time I'm done camping. Or maybe you're lucky enough that you're like, I'm just gonna build a sewer dump next to my house. Well, that's going to cost you, I don't know, thousands of dollars to connect into your sewer and have a sewer dump at your house, which long term is going to be nice, but the upfront cost is thousands of dollars. Now, these do have refill cartridges or bags, essentially. And so you might be like, well, that's an expense that you gotta, yeah, it is. But once again, so is the expense of having to dump your black tank every single time you're done camping. It's not just the expense of dumping it, the $5 or $10, or the expense of putting in a black tank dump station at your house. It's also the time that it takes. This takes literally seconds. It's like taking the trash out. Once it's done, once you're done camping, you literally pull that bag up and throw it in a trash can, throw it in a dumpster. It's done. It's super, super easy. Now, at RVs of America, we've done a few different toilet upgrades. The incinerator is one that is really, really cool, right? And we've done that, and it just turns everything to ash. You never have to deal with anything. But the time that it takes to take out the ashtray and empty it, it's the same as the time it takes to take the bag out and empty it. And the incinerator is twice as expensive. I'm very conflicted. Like, I've now used this toilet. We've been in this trailer now for 5 days, me and the camera guy, and we're still on the first bag, and we've been doing our duty in it every day. And I really like it, honestly. I'm really, really sold by it. Only thing about this bathroom that, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of is the space. It is a little tight in here. They do have these nice corners. I don't know how you do your business, but if you're a right-hand wiper and you wipe from behind, because when I first saw it, I'm like, how am I going to use this toilet, right? I don't know. It's like too tight, but it's actually not. It works. It works great. I have plenty of room for now. If you're a left-hander, it still might work, but it's going to be harder. Or if you're front wiper, I don't know how you do your thing, but it works. I'm 6 foot, 260 pounds. The camera guy is 210. He's 6'2". If it's fine, and you're camping. Over here, we got a switch that turns on and off the light, which is nice. The details, right? It's all about the details. I'm very impressed with this trailer, honestly. I've now spent a good amount of time. I've had it parked at my house for almost a month during the whole month of December. And I was going out there. I have a personal trailer. It's a Black Series, actually, an HQ17. I have kids, bunk bed, so I needed the bunk beds. And I actually had it parked right next to my trailer for an entire month, and I was testing the furnaces, right? I turned on the furnace in my trailer. I came out and turned the furnace on this. I put the same size tank on this one, the same size tank on that one. I was timing them to see how long it took one to get up to heat, and how long it took this one to get up to heat, and then how long it held in the temperature, and how often the furnace would turn it on and off. I started this video with telling you, RVs of America, we don't just bring on a trailer unless we believe in it. To me, I believe that making money is a side effect of giving good service. I should say it's cause and effect. The cause and effect of giving a good product, a good service into the marketplace. When you do that, people pay you money. I see in the world where it's like, you know, let's just bring on every trailer so we can just sell, and it just becomes this money transactional thing. And to be frank with you, we've been in business for 13 years, and in the beginning there probably was some of that going on, but as long as you're always trying to grow and progress and change in your life, you start to find that the transactions and the money are the most boring part of the business. It's not fun. It's way more fun to give great service and wow people and create a community of people. And that's what we're doing here at RVs of America. We have a community of friends and people, and we try to deliver amazing service, but we don't just want to deliver amazing service and an amazing experience. We also want to deliver good product that we believe in, product that we can stand behind and say, it's not just a great trailer, but it's also a great company. Xplore, they are a great company. They're a great trailer. Even the things that I know we'll find things, there are some things that we want to improve. You know, I've talked about the bathroom, and I think from the conversations that I'm having, they might add an extra couple inches on it. And that's really cool. You know, it's really neat to work with a manufacturer that listens. They're users of it too. They're an awesome manufacturer. They're really open to listening to what the marketplace wants, you know, and they're willing to change and pivot, as is RVs of America. I hope you've enjoyed this video tour. I know I told you at the very beginning it was going to be long and in depth. I hope you've learned something. We really hope that you can come out, take a look at it, become a roamer, and then you can get on some adventures with us in the future. We're really excited about this new trailer, and I've become more and more of a believer in it in the last few months since we've been using it, testing it, going out and actually trying to experience what a owner would experience in the trailer, because that's what we want to do. We don't want to just sell something we don't have any experience in. Like I said, I did tests on it over and over in my house, and the test results have always been in the favor of this Xplore. This Xplore has outperformed all of the heat tests, you know, whatever it is. It's been very beyond my expectations. It overperformed so far. So thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to do all of those subscribes and bells and notification things, and we'll hopefully see you out on a trail exploring together.